Hello, good morning. Welcome to our channel Yushi Talks. And today we are bringing in some very horrifying details of an ex CIA engineer who tells judge that he has been incarcerated like an animal. They are being treated as caged animals. Their cells are not clean. They are infested with rodents and rodent droppings and much more. Please watch the complete video as we have some many important details around this news, and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it so far. So let's get started. A former CIA software engineer charged with leaking government secrets to WikiLeaks says it's cruel and unusual punishment that he's awaiting trial in solitary confinement, housed in a vermin infested cell of a jail where inmates are treated like caged animals. Joshua Scholl, 32, has asked a Manhattan federal judge to force the Federal Bureau of Prisons to improve conditions at the Metropolitan Correction Center, where he has been held for over 2 years under highly restrictive conditions usually reserved for terrorism defendants. In court papers Tuesday, Schultz maintained that he is held in conditions below that of impoverished persons living in third world countries. It's barbaric and inhuman to lock human beings into boxes for years and years. It's a punishment worse than death, the court filing said. Last year, a jury deadlocked on espionage charges alleging that Schultz stole a massive trove of agencies' hacking tools and gave it to the organization that publishes news leaks. He was convicted of lesser charges of contempt of court and making false statements. He is scheduled for another trial on espionage charges in June in what was said to be the largest leak in the CIA history involving classified information. After that, he faces a separate trial on child pornography charges. He has pleaded not guilty to all the charges. In his 20s, Schultz, originally from Lubbock, Texas, worked as a coder at the CIA's headquarters in Langley, Virginia, where the digital sleuths designed computer code to spy on foreign adversaries. The so-called Vault 7 leak published in March 2017 by WikiLeaks revealed how the CIA hacked Apple and Android smartphones in overseas spying operations and efforts to turn internet-connected television into listening devices. After a year-long probe, investigators blamed Schultz, who had already left the agency after falling out with colleagues and supervisors, and moved to New York City to work at a news agency. At trials, prosecutors called the leaks devastating to national security. A defense lawyer said that the materials could have been accessed and stolen by hundreds of people. Juror Alexis Anthony said she never thought the evidence was strong enough to convict Schultz of espionage related charges. According to the court papers, Schultz has been in solitary confinement and not been outdoors in over 2 years under special administrative measures designed to severely restrict an inmate's communication and interaction with others. Prosecutors say that the measures are necessary after Schultz tried to leak even more classified information using a contraband cell phone that had been smuggled into the jail. They said he declared an information war and was prepared to burn down the United States government. Schultz's filthy cell, the size of a parking space, is infested with rodents, rodent droppings, cockroaches, and mold, and there's no heating, air conditioning, or functioning plumbing. The court paper says while sunlight is blocked by a blacked out window, television access is permitted for 1 hour per week. The toilets operate so poorly that he lets the feces, partially dissolve before flushing. According to the court documents, and temperatures fall so low that water in his cell turns to ice and he shivers despite wearing 4 sets of clothing, 5 sets of socks, 2 blankets, and 3 sets of socks on his hands. Bright lights are on non-stop. He isn't allowed outside recreation, and his access to commissary and visitation is severely restricted, while his access to books or legal material is banned or severely limited, along with visits to dentists or doctors despite heart-related issues, Schultz maintained. In his prison unit on the jail's 10th floor, silverware and cups are also banned, so inmates are forced to eat and drink with their hands like the caged animals that they are, the filing said. Several men awaiting trial in cells nearby are charged in terrorism cases. When he is moved outside his cell, he is shackled from head to toe like Hannibal, the filing said, referencing the fictional Dr. Hannibal Lecter, a cannibalistic serial killer from the 1991 horror movie The Silence of the Lambs. Sabrina Schroff, one of the Schultz lawyers, said she was not exaggerating with his claims in a jail long derided by inmates as harsh for defendants awaiting trial. I think that everyone on Mr. Schultz's defense team is horrified with conditions in which he has to live daily. Schultz said he was asking for intervention from a judge because he had exhausted all his opportunities to protest his conditions to prison authorities, who he says makes it nearly impossible to lodge any complaints. They insist on using a 40-year-old cumbersome process rather than updated electronic avenues, he said. As an example, he cited a rejection of his complaint by the prison's Northeast Regional Office in part because he failed to use a ballpoint pen to appropriately allow the carbon copies to be readable. The court papers said Schultz is denied the use of pens. So that's some really horrific details coming in. That's all we have in news today about this ex-CIA engineer who has been incarcerated. Please continue to watch this space. We will bring in more news as and when we get it. Thank you for being with me so far, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't done it so far. You're welcome. Thank you. Bye bye.